Nature has its own set of rules, and at the top of that food chain you'll find the apex predators. These are the kings and queens of their domain, the hunters that nothing else hunts. But what happens when one of them simply vanishes? In 2020, scientists were tracking a fully grown great white shark, a 9-foot-long predator named Alpha. She was the ultimate hunter, and she disappeared in a way that left everyone completely baffled. There was no sign of an attack, no remains, and absolutely no warning. All they had was one final, chilling data signal. Signal that suggested Alpha didn't just die, it suggested she was swallowed whole. Let us rewind to early 2020. A team of marine researchers is working off the coast of Australia. They managed to tag this magnificent 9-foot great white shark, and they name her Alpha. She was the picture of health, powerful, and in the prime of her life. The tracking device attached to her was state-of-the-art, recording her location, her depth, her speed, and even her internal body temperature. For 2 weeks, everything they saw was perfectly normal. The data showed Alpha doing what great whites do. She was hunting, migrating along the coast, diving deep into the abyss, and then returning to the surface. It was a textbook study of a healthy apex predator. Until one morning, when the data stream just stopped making sense. It was 2:17 a.m. Suddenly, a high-priority alert pinged on the researchers' screens. The tracker on Alpha was reporting a sudden, dramatic jump in temperature. Her body temperature had skyrocketed to 26 degrees Celsius. Now, to you and me, that might not sound like a lot. But to a marine biologist, that number is shocking. Why? Because the temperature of the ocean water surrounding her was only 12 degrees Celsius. There is only one place in the entire ocean where a temperature that high can exist: inside the digestive system of another large, warm-blooded animal. Minutes after the temperature spike, the depth reading began to change rapidly. Alpha was plunging deeper and deeper, far beyond any depth she had ever been recorded swimming to before. The descent was fast and unnatural. And then, just as suddenly as it began, there was silence. The signal went dead. No more movement. No more location updates. Nothing. For 6 long, agonizing hours, the research team waited, staring at their screens, hoping for any sign. And then they got one. The tracker resurfaced, was just floating on the ocean's surface, miles from where Alpha had last been. When they retrieved it, they found it was damaged, but eerily perfectly clean. It was as if it had been swallowed, and then later spat back out. The researchers' minds went into overdrive trying to explain what could have happened. They immediately started ruling out the usual suspects. Could it have been orcas? Killer whales are known to hunt great whites, but the attack profile was all wrong. Orca hunts are typically in shallower waters, and they are brutal, messy affairs. This was silent, deep, and left no trace. What about other sharks? Could a bigger shark have attacked Alpha? It was a possibility, but no known shark species actively hunts a great white of that size. They are rivals, yes, but a 9-foot great white is not easy prey. A fight would have been chaotic, and the tracker would have likely shown signs of a struggle. So, what about equipment failure? Could the tracker have simply malfunctioned? The team looked at the data again. The temperature change wasn't a glitch. It was a biological reading, a clear signature of a warm-blooded environment. The device had worked exactly as it was supposed to, right up until the moment it was inside something else. One of the marine biologists on the project, speaking to a colleague, quietly admitted, "The data suggests ingestion by a larger warm-blooded animal." That was the logical conclusion. But officially, in the known animal kingdom, there is no such predator. There's nothing documented that's big enough, warm-blooded enough, and capable of swallowing a 9-foot shark whole in the deep, cold waters off Australia. And so, the official case file was labeled with a single frustrating word: inconclusive. The public never received the full detailed report. The story of Alpha, the shark that was swallowed, was buried in scientific archives. But the story doesn't end there. When a few independent researchers the inconclusive label, they decided to dig deeper. They started reviewing older, archived data from similar tracking projects around the world, and what they found was deeply disturbing. Over the past 30 years, they uncovered a pattern. At least 11 other tagged apex predators had vanished in a strikingly similar way. A sudden, inexplicable heat spike. A rapid, unnatural descent into the depths. A complete loss of signal. It happened in different oceans in different years, with different species: tuna, marlin, other sharks. But the ending was always the same. And in every single one of these cold cases, the tracker eventually resurfaced, intact and clean. It was as if something had taken the animal, but rejected the man-made technology. Something down there was a selective eater. This pattern forced an uncomfortable question into the light. Was Alpha's disappearance a one-off freak event, or was it a glimpse into a reality we are not prepared to accept? Some scientists now believe this evidence points to the existence of an unknown, undiscovered deep-sea predator. Something truly massive, something warm-blooded, which is rare in the deep ocean. Something capable of moving with stealth, ambushing even a great white shark. Others are more cautious. They suggest these could be extremely rare. Undocumented encounters with species we know exist, but whose behavior we don't fully understand. Perhaps a freak hunting event by a pod of unknown cetaceans, or something else entirely. And then there is a third group of scientists, those who refuse to comment on the record at all. The implications are just too far outside the established boundaries of marine biology. One researcher, after a long and difficult interview, ended the conversation with a single, haunting sentence: "Just because we haven't discovered it, doesn't mean it isn't already hunting." We humans like to believe we have conquered this planet. We've mapped every corner and cataloged every creature. But the truth is, over 80% of our own planet's ocean remains completely unexplored, unmapped, and unobserved. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of our seas. The great white shark has become a global symbol of fear, the ultimate predator of the seas. We make movies about it. We tell stories about it. We respect its power. And yet, even this titan of the ocean can be erased from existence without a single trace. The case of Alpha the shark isn't just a mystery about a single animal. It's a lesson in humility. It's a stark reminder that in the grand, wild theater of nature, being the apex predator doesn't mean you're untouchable. Sometimes, it just means you haven't met what lives deeper. Thank you for watching. If you found this mystery as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown. See you next time.